Hi, welcome back to Let's Play. So while I've been gathering, I've been detailing the area around the windmill. I started this little pathway up to the windmill. I have these little lampposts. I'm not sure if they'll be the final design, but I do like it. I have some leaves to add this extra overgrown feeling. I also planted a bunch of wheat all the way around this whole area. And the tree's gonna go right here. I gathered the resources for it. It's a bunch of leaves and just a bit of logs. I'm very happy with how this field turned out. I think it looks great with the shaders. The wheat kind of flows in the wind. I've also set up this little area over here for a barn. I'm not sure if this will be the final shape. I think I want the little silo on the side to be bigger because I want to put a moss farm in here. So we can have a lot of bone meal. And then I think this is a good size for the barn itself. Because I want to have little slots for the sheeps. So we can have automatic wool and then a little pasture out this way for the cows. And I've also decided I do want a road going this way to the village, as well as one going around the field. I think this one's going to be more of a dirt path, and the one over there will be stone. So we can have a nice main road, and this could be, that could just be a little side road. We're going to get started with this tree build. It's fairly large, a bit bigger than the windmill itself. Are you guys ready for the reveal without the dirt in the way? I think it turned out majestically. Nice in our little field. I think I might want to add a little swing coming down right here. I think that could be pretty cool. And what's next for this area? I think all that's left is putting some walls around each of the levels. So we can kind of have a break on some parts of it. Maybe not each level, but some walls over here and some walls over here, just kind of separate it from the rest of the land. And then we're going to move on to our barn over here. I want to make it out of mangrove wood and planks and stuff because I like the red. I've never had a red barn before. I've actually never used the mangrove wood before in survival mode. This is my first time actually getting it in a world. I'm very lucky that I got it from a villager, so I'd have to travel thousands of blocks. That was very nice. I think this tree added a lot to our little area. Can't wait to see what the rest of the world looks like when we get everything up. So I spent some time in creative mode. I laid out a good little barn design. I'm going to have a lot of dispensers in here to shear a bunch of sheep. We're going to need a load of wool to get netherite, because then mining is so easy and way cheaper than TNT. I think it will tie in nicely with our little tree field over here. I'm going to plant some crops around it, like some potatoes and some carrots. Something I can actually use to trade with villagers. So that would be very nice. I also put these walls around the farm. I think they look pleasing to the eye. I'm really loving this area, and I love these lampposts. I'm not sure if I want the polished tuff or the stone brick tuff. I was just trying out a couple ways to do it. We need a bunch of string to craft a load of dispensers, so spend some time doing that. I've also spent some time mining the resources we've already gathered, so we can get a good set of materials. Most of it is smelting right now. I think we have like 10 stacks of iron, so that's very handy. We'll be using a lot of that for the dispenser, the mine carts and the hoppers and stuff that needed for the sheep. I think my final design ended up being a bit smaller than this. I haven't incorporated a silo yet, so we're just going to jump right into another time lapse. Little montage of me gathering some resources. We'll see when this build is complete. So when making my farm, I thought having an observer power a redstone torch into a block would fire the dispenser, but I learned it does not. So it looks like we're going to have to go with this design where the observer powers a block and it triggers a redstone dust into the dispenser, which means we are going to have something on this back side of the wall, like a bush or something, so we can have redstone dust here, which wasn't my original plan, but I think we could work that out. I don't think that would be too intrusive. I'm glad I caught this before I built everything out. I think an observer should power a redstone torch that's on it. I think that would make sense. You know, observer gets power, and then triggers this, goes there, and then goes there. Unfortunately, observers can only pass it through blocks, which is silly. I also came up with this design, but it's a little bigger. We still have to have the rest redstone dust on the outside, but we wouldn't have to destroy this block. So I think we're just going to go with the simple design over here. So I've completed the farm, got all the sheep in place, but I have discovered a new problem. Sometimes the hoppers don't pick up the sheep's wool. It's because the wool falls on the fence block rather than the grass block. So I might have to replace all these fences with a solid block, which won't be as aesthetically pleasing, but it is doable. That is unfortunate. I will get back to you guys with a fix. I fixed the farm. I've added glass tubes, so now we have a bunch of test tube sheep coming around. I Forgot to use one. We do have a good amount of wool coming in already. Just from working on this area, I already have over 3 stacks of wool. Very productive. We're gonna need a lot of wool for the start of our nether mining. I don't build much out of wool, so it's mainly gonna be used for beds. But it would be very nice to have if we ever do need. I can also dye the sheep easily if I need to, so that'd be nice. Very easy build, very happy, very useful. Now we just have to connect it up with the roads I already have. I think it turned out well. I think that wraps up today's episode. We've done a lot of building. We built a good tree and a good farm. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please like and subscribe, and check in next time for the next video. Bye!